Hello, my name is Declan Cramper.
And I'm Austin Krause.
And we would like to welcome you to today's edition of Eugene Worldwide, where we discuss global crisis and world issue events. Today we will be discussing a major issue with one of our friendly allies, China.
Now, there hasn't been much attention given to our health of planet Earth lately. It's almost like people don't care.
Well, let us educate you on what is eventually going to be the cause of your future death, if you don't die within 20 years of other circumstances, such as diabetes. So, without further ado, let's get right into the news.
China's been populating Earth for a long time now. They're home to hundreds of thousands of factories. According to China's Statistical Yearbook, there are approximately 2,801,143 factories in the year of 2015. We can only expect that the number will tremendously grow up due to the rapid rise in population.
Okay, well, we can't really assume that, Austin, but it seems like common sense. These factories produce so many goods a day for everyone around the world, such as you, an everyday consumer. Do you ever sit down and ask yourself how this stuff gets made?
Most people probably won't even think twice about the product they buy. I mean, why would you even care? You aren't seeing these factories and how they're being made because you don't live in the environment. The truth is, these factories are unhealthy energy sources for their production, like coal and chemicals. They're overall really bad for the environment.
When these chemicals mix in the atmosphere, reactions happen which creates smog or fog, as China likes to call it. Smog traps in heat, and the condition that needs to form, creating this cycle where basically smog is creating more smog. In 2017, 80,000 factories were hit with fines and criminal offenses as a result of their emissions. In 2014, they had 175 polluted days, which means school is canceled and planes are grounded. This is a big part of every year. You would think no work or school would be more alarming to such a growing country, but it's not.
Right you are, Declan. An internal report created by China's environmental emergency also supported these figures and claims that populated lead to 250,000 deaths in China every year. Chinese official banned its publication to avoid social unrest. This is sad news, a sad excuse to keep their factories churning and earning money.
Truly sad.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
This toxic smog is harmful to the health of anything or anyone in it. Breathing the air every day without a gas mask does as much damage to the lungs as smoking 40 cigarettes a day. Breathing the air for an hour reduces life expectancy by 20 minutes, as if every man, woman, and child smoked 1.5 cigarettes every hour. About 17% of deaths in China is due to air pollution, which equals about 4,000 deaths a day. That's 4,000 innocent lives, world changers, leaders, and lovers dead.
Here we have a recent tweet from our social media team. It entails the idea of water population in China.
Our social media team has really been doing great work recently. So the factories in China not only damage the air, degrading the health of the citizens, plants, and animals, but they also pump chemicals and substances into China's water supply. Pollutants from these industrial sources include asbestos, lead, mercury, nitrates, phosphates, sulfur, oils, and petrochemicals.
Asbestos can cause illnesses such as lung cancer, intestinal cancer, and liver cancer. It harms the health of humans and animals because it inhibits the actions of bodily enzymes. Animals that swim and drink the water can be subject to mercury poisoning and can be fatal in high amounts. Phosphates cause eutrophication, meaning the excessive richness of nutrients runoff from land into waterways. The excess of nutrients and water cuts of oxygen supply to the animals in the water.
Oil is another example of a substance that causes a lot of problems. The factories in China pump oil into bodies of water, and then this oil forms a layer at the top of the surface. This surface layer of oil stops marine plants from receiving sunlight for photosynthesis, and some animals live in those plants. It's a damaging chain that affects the health of fish, then the marine birds who eat the fish, and so on. Petrochemicals are also extremely harmful to marine life.
If you're still wondering how this relates to you, here are some fun facts that might surprise you.
Beep, 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 coming through like a fax.
In 1950, there were approximately 50,000 significant rivers. Today, less than half of them are left. It is expected that at this rate, in 2030, China will have a runoff of water. With no water, China will have no choice but to receive imports from other places, helping water companies in other countries, but also depleting their source of water as well.
That's a really good point, Austin. Now we'll take it to Matt, who is with a gentleman whose family is from these conditions and can provide us with secondhand information on these runoffs.
Ni hao. Are you from China?
Yeah.
Would you be down for an interview with us real quick? We'd just like to know some stuff about pollution.
Yes, yeah.
All right, where you from, by the way?
I'm actually from Hong Kong in China.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that where your family's from?
Yeah.
All right, man. So, do you know that the extent of the pollution problem being raised in China?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it in the news and stuff, but I haven't actually directly experienced too much of it. But
Really?
I know like the air quality is really bad and there's a lot
Did
of
you have to
smog.
wear a mask or anything? Did it like affect the quality of your life?
I mean, sometimes you'd have to go out wearing like a mask because like the air is like too bad.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people from China
Yeah.
that come here and they wear the mask, and I heard that's like there's something to that.
Like I think that's
They
also
can't-
because they're like scared of germs there, but it's
Oh,
also to
oh.
do with
Like they can't adjust to our air quality.
Yeah,
kind of?
that could be.
All right, I got another one for you, man. So, do you know how hard? Like your family's in America now, right?
Yeah.
So, like, was it really hard for them to transition to like the American
Lifestyle.
Yeah, and air quality and
Oh,
pollution, that sort of thing.
I don't know, like, cause back when they were like living there, like it wasn't too developed, you know. It's just like nothing.
Yeah,
But, like,
yeah.
When they came here, then I don't know, like I don't know what it was like, but I think going back now, when they go back to like Hong Kong,
So the
it's
problem's
like bad.
it's gotten worse.
Yeah,
right?
it's gotten worse because like it's like more developed.
Yeah. So during your time, you know, you really seen the extent of this pollution, right?
Yeah, it's.
Is that
it's
one of the
getting
reasons you
worse.
came here?
Yeah. Because
Oh.
I mean, part of it was a small part, but it was still like,
Alright.
like the health.
That's yeah. You know you got to keep up
Yeah,
your health. You
yeah.
know. So how would you like compare the pollution in China to America?
I mean, China overall it's worse just because of where I live. Like, it's a smaller town. I'm
Mhm.
sure, like in bigger like American cities, it's probably
It's
bad.
It's
but
bad. But
I don't think it'll ever be as bad as like in China, like Beijing and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Really big cities.
Because it kind of encompasses like all of the smaller towns, right? Because
Yeah.
the pollution like drifts. I know it even drifts over to like America.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does
so-
across.
So what do you think would happen if the pollution gets too bad, man? It's kind of a dark question.
That's
for you, but,
it's a bit scary,
Yeah.
man. It's a scary thing to think about.
yeah.
I
Post-apocalyptic.
mean, I don't know. It just really hurt like people, you know, like cancer and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
And it hurt like animals and stuff. I don't know. Like it'll hurt our food
Alright.
source, I guess.
Yeah. We'd be gone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We gotta
Because
take
we
care
need
of
them.
this,
We
you
need
know?
food. So.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's nice to meet you.
All right.
I love your Astro.
All right. Thank you, man.
My
I'll
brother
see you.
for sure. We'll see you, man.
See you, man.
Wow, thank you, Matt, for that very informative video. Now we are back in the studio. So, do you guys remember the oil spill in 2010 in the Gulf of Mexico and how tragic that was? Yeah, well, there was one in the city of Dalian that was 4 times the size. This water is what some people depend on. They depend on it for bathing, washing their clothes, cooking, drinking, and cleaning. They have no other choice but to use this water because they are so poor. They know it's bad for them, yet they can't do anything about it because they need it.
Bringing it back to air pollution, China's pollution has affected the whole world, causing deadly storms due to global warming. We are having hotter summers and colder winters. Each of the past few years just happens to be the record year for temperatures. 1/3 of San Francisco's air pollution is blown over from China. Polluted ocean waters from China has spread everywhere, contaminating even the cleanest oceans and waters. America gets thousands of goods from China. If China continues polluting the planet at this rate, there will be no more factories present or people living in the country. Our supplies will be cut off.
And as we talked about before, Austin, it's not just a problem with water. It's a problem with smog too. And this smog can irritate the eyes, the throat, and also damage the lungs. And these effects are worse on people that work outside, kids, and the elderly. People that are born with asthma have it even worse because smog can trigger asthma attacks.
The smog also can withhold sunlight from plants. Farmers say the air pollution is comparable to a nuclear winter. Their plants aren't growing.
This is really tragic news, and we think it is important for us to share it with you. So we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to Eugene Worldwide today and learning about this information. It was our pleasure to inform you about this very serious issue.
We hope that you guys really consider that issue and help spread awareness, because our global issue is anyone's global issue.
That'll be all for today, and we'll catch you next time on Eugene Worldwide.